Hi everybody, this is Pat in the paper closet. Thanks for coming by today. Today I'm going to be making something I've never made before, but I really want to try. I think I had mentioned it in one of my past videos. It's a junk journal. Now I'm making one that's a little bit smaller for my first try. So it's about 4.5 inches wide, the cover. Oops, upside down. It's about 4.5 inches wide, and it's 7 inches, 7.25 inches high. So it's not too big. And I made a 1-inch spine on here because I want to put in 2 signatures. I'm going to try sewn signatures, something I've never done. And I'm just not sure what all goes in here. I picked out paper. I've made my own papers for this. The front cover was just a blue, and I went into my program and I used some filters for smearing and blending and blurring. And then when I was satisfied with the bottom part, I brought in a few PNGs that have transparent backgrounds and put them on top of it. So that's the top of the mason jar you see here, and a butterfly. And that was that page. This one I just took my, what do you call that? It was in my filters, craters and bumps. And I made a whole page of craters and bumps. And then I took my, the tool to streak. I think it was called Streak. And I just was able to smear the color around, kind of like fingerprinting on my computer. And that's all I did for this one. Then I have these. These would be my signatures. Did the same thing here. Took a pattern, blended it, smeared it, blurred it, added a few images on it, flowers, and a hat. That's that one. All of this is an experiment. A book page from an old kid's book. A butterfly background that I think I used a blur tool on this one. This was a piece of copy paper that I did a modified coffee stain on it. I just took a paper towel, dipped it in some coffee, and rubbed it over the paper to change the color. Then I let it dry, and then I spritzed this one with a little bit of a, I forget what it's called. It's not a glitter spray, sort of a shimmer spray, that's what it was. That's that one. This one I just took some solid colors and blurred them. This one I used one of the blurred pages and I added a word background onto it that was transparent. This is the same as the other one, but I added a different image over it. This one, same as the front cover, but I put a bird and a butterfly on it. Another book page. Some more of that coffee dyed paper. Here were those original blurred craters and bumps. A little bright, but I think it goes well in there. These are the backs that are white. And this one, I didn't create this one. I had this one on my computer. It was a digital paper from a kit I had purchased a while ago. And what else do I have? These are the backs of the rest. So most of them are white. This one has a green blur. So I just made all these pages. They're all printed on copy paper. So that's the first set. This set, pretty much the same. This one I took the coffee dyed paper and I printed on it one of the blurred images. And that's what came through the back from staining it. Coffee dyed paper. Another background that I blurred. Some lined paper that I added some yellow into it to make it look a little old. The same page as before. Coffee dyed paper, book page, separated. This one's the same as before. There we go. Oh yes, but I took the background, that background from before, and I added the words onto it, the transparent words. Another book page, coffee dyed paper, and that's it. Then it repeats. This book page, I tried doing a blue distress ink on it, and that's about it. These are the backs of all the pages. Here's that other one with the mason jar and the flowers. So this is my try. I'm going to see how it comes out. Yeah, these are all the backs of the papers. So that'll be it. These will be my signatures. They each have about 12 pages in them. So this would make 12 sheets, would give us 48 pages in this one and 48 pages in this one. So that's 96 pages. So I'm hoping it won't be too chunky to close. I know I like it a little bit chunky, but some of them that I see are just so chunky that just have a wide open mouth on them. This I had cut out on my silhouette a long time ago. I'm going to use this on one of the corners of the pages. I just inked the edges with the blue ink. I have some ribbon or lace trim that I'm going to put along the edge of some of the pages. And the rest I'll just make some pockets and flips, whatever else goes in there. I'm not sure. Okay, so we'll play around, see what ends up here. Now for this, I've used a grocery paper bag. There are 2 layers. I glued them together. This measures, let's see, I was writing down all my measurements. For the paper bag, we needed 7 1/4 inches high by 10 1/4 inches wide. That'll leave enough room in the middle for that 1 1/4 inch spine. So it's all in one piece. So you cut 2 of those, glue them together, let them dry, and then I added 1 extra little piece in the middle here for the spine, just to give it a little more stability, so it's a little bit thicker. And then I cut this I'm not going to glue on until after I sew in my signatures. This way it'll cover up the thread. So this will be my cover for my spine. To cover the front, I used 2 sheets. This one I cut at, let's see, where's my cover? 4 1/2 by 8 1/2. 4 1/2 inches wide, so that we had enough to turn over, I think. Let me measure. Yes, 4 1/4, maybe make it 4 3/4 wide. 4 3/4 inches wide. Where's my pen? 4 3/4 by 8 1/2. Yeah, by 8 1/2. Right, 4 3/4 wide by 8 1/2. So you have enough to make a wrapped cover. I don't want the edges to be sticking out from the paper bag. So we're going to do a wrapped cover on that. Now I've already glued on my sheets to cover the front. Folded them to the inside. I haven't glued them yet. I did on one side, but not the other. So I'm going to glue these down so they'll stay nice and neat. And then I'm going to cut this sheet for the inside. Now this one I printed on cardstock, so it would give it a little bit more stability for the whole cover. So that's going to go on the inside. And I'm going to cut this sheet at inside cover 7 1/8 by 10 1/4. So it'll fit just inside of this. We want a little bit of an edge, like 1/8 of an inch. So just a little bit will be sticking out at each side. top, bottom, sides, and then I'm going to glue this down. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to cut this and then glue it in. Now this is either going to be a great success or a giant disaster. We'll see. Like I said, I've never made one of these before. Okay, I need my ruler and my knife. What was my size? The width is 10 1/4. I'll measure over 10 1/4. Here and about here. 10 1/4 and 7 1/8 high on the height. 7 1/8. Make a few marks so I can make a straight line. Seven 1/8. Okay. I'll cut this off using my knife. I could use my paper trimmer, but just as easy for one layer. Okay, that's that side. I'm going to cut off the bottom. Line up my marks. And cut that off. Okay, so that's done. Close up your knife. Always be careful. Now, I'll put this on here and test it out. And it seems to be a little bit too long. I'm going to cut a little bit off the bottom and a little bit off the side, about 1/4 inch on the side and about 1/8 inch on the bottom. I need 1/4 inch on the side, and that's about 1/4 inch. One thing I've learned about a junk journal: nothing is perfect. So the measurements are not totally correct. That's fine. Okay, about 1/8 inch off the bottom. Not quite through. I think I need a new blade. I need to break off my blade here. Okay, so that's fine. Now that should fit. Always give it a dry run before we glue it on. That looks very good. I didn't need to cut quite that much off the ends, but it will work out fine. I'm going to glue these down first. Since I glued part of it, but not the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to get my glue going. Just run some glue around the edges of this. Some around the center. Now this I did with copy paper, so you don't want to glue it too much. Press it down good. Stays there. And one thing I want to remember to do before I cover this is I'm going to put ribbon as the tie for the closure. So I'm going to put it in here so it'll be covered up by the inner cover. Let's finish these up. Okay, that's plenty. Glue it down. We got a nice wrapped cover here. The edges are all covered. Now for this side. I'm going to try to keep this video a bit shorter. In this video, I'm just going to finish up the cover. And then in the next video, we'll put the signatures in. So that should keep them a bit shorter. Press that down. Make sure it's sticking well. Glue the ends. Not too much glue on this copy paper. We don't want it soaking through. This is going to get covered up with our inner cover. Okay. Do this one. Now I've been watching a lot of videos on making junk journals. And it seems you just wing it. You pick a piece of paper, you put it on, and that's it. Not a planned book. Alright, so those are glued down. I'm going to get my ribbon. I think I'm going to use this ribbon as my ties because they're not too big. I'm going to put a piece along the middle here. Center it as close as I can. I'm not measuring, just gluing it in. Glue it in. Okay, put it on my ribbon. Press it down into the glue. Usually on a trim like this, glue will hold it. Okay, I'm going to cut this off. I would say measure from here. I'm going to give it a good 11 inches so we could tie a bow in it. Cut that off. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Giving myself an estimate. Can't be up by that much. This is a small book, so I don't want a wider tie on it. The thinner one is good. Okay, so glue this end on. Turn my ribbon the right way. See how close I am to it. Very good. Okay, press it into the glue. Make sure it's sticking, which it is. Okay, I'm gonna measure this one and cut it. Inches, I said. Yeah, that's right about here. Okay, let me get this out of here. Now this ribbon I'm also going to put this lace along the edge of some of the pages. Not many, a few. That way it'll stick out of the edge of the book a little bit. Okay, so we have those on. Making sure they're dry and sticking, which they are. And now I'm going to work on putting on my inner lining. I'm going to put the glue on the back of my cardstock. I need my bigger ball. This is cardstock, so it's going to need more glue. Get it going. There we go. Okay, I'm running it along the edge into the corner. You've seen me do this before. I'm just going to go as quick as I can all along the edge. into the corner. All the edges. Let's get this out of our way. Okay. Now I'm just gonna unglue it all around the inside. This will give it, it'll harden a bit more. Make our cover a little firmer. I'm just filling in the inside, not totally full. That should be good. Okay. Now, this is the tricky part. Open this up. Pick this up. Now my paper's not directional, so I don't have to worry about that. If you're using a pattern paper with a direction, you would have to pay attention to the direction of your paper. Get this in this corner good. And then across here. And slide it down a little bit over here. Maybe sticking out a little here, huh? Alright, we'll pull it back over. A little more to the left. A little bit lower on the bottom. Alright, I think I'm going to work it into the middle first, the spine area, and then glue it outward. Pressing down well. Give it time for the glue to catch. I think I'm going to have to trim off the top here a little bit. That's what I mean about nothing's perfect on this. So obviously the cover was not totally straight. So I'm going to trim that before that dries. That should be good. A little bit more on the spine. Excuse me. That'll be fine because when I put on my spine piece, I'm going to fold it over to the inside so it'll cover up this part. Alright, let's make sure this glues down thoroughly. Press this down good. Over our ribbon. And this ribbon, which is now sandwiched in between the two pieces. Okay. Give it a good press into the spine. Should work. Not bad. So there we have our cover on. Our inside cover is in. I think I need a little glue on this edge. It dried too quick. glue dried too quick for me. Take my ruler here and make my fold for my spine. Alright, you don't really want a defined spine on this. I'd rather look curved. I see my glue is not sticking. Don't try to rush it like me. Take your time. Make sure you have plenty of glue. I mean, I had the glue on there, but in straightening it out, I picked it up. So it's not sticking. Alright, that should hold it. I'm sure my ribbon is glued in there well. Alright. Don't rush it. Don't try to close it until your glue dries. I just want to make sure it's... Yes. I'm going to let that dry well before I try to close it up. This piece will go on when I'm finished putting in the signatures. And I do think I'm going to recut this out of cardstock. This is a little too flimsy. But I like the torn edge on the front with the white showing. So I'm going to cut that again out of cardstock and then put it on later. Alright, so we have the whole cover done. So it's 2 layers of paper bag covered with a layer on the front with a wrapped cover. So we wrapped it to the inside and glued it down. As you can see in one of my other videos, a couple of them, how to do a wrapped cover. We have our ties on there to tie it closed. It will look like this with a bow. And so far so good. I'll let this dry. I think I'm going to put a heavy book on it till it dries thoroughly, and then I'll be back. We'll do the signatures. I have to trim them down because they're a little too wide, so I've marked them. I have a line here and here and along the bottom where to cut, and I'll cut them down. We'll sew them in, and then we'll try filling it up. And I think this spine will be just good, because after we do it, it's going to get a little chunky after we fill it in with our pockets and flips. So far so good. Get an idea what it'll look like. Pages will fit right inside here. They won't be sticking out. Very good. I also have this corner I'm going to put on one of these to tuck something in, either on the top or on the bottom. So that's it for our cover. Paper bag. Okay, not bad for a first try. I'm happy with it. I'll be back very soon. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so you get notified when the next video is up. And please share and hit the like button. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you.